question will start with you. What is your opinion of teachers and the job they do? And what can you do to help the teachers do a better job?
Well, with my wife being a school teacher, that ought to be really, really an easy answer. But you know, our teachers, and I'm going to use my wife as an example, and I hope she doesn't get upset over it. We took money out of our pocket to fund a lot of things in our classroom that our our schools were not able to produce. I have 2 grandchildren that are going to Century School in Nixa, and I think that we need to make sure that the teachers do not have to go and pull money out of their pocket to buy supplies, and I think that's very important.
Kevin, what is your opinion of teachers and the job they do? And what can you do to help teachers do a better job?
Well, I think we've got some great teachers in our communities here in the 139th district. And my son's participating in the schools and being involved in stuff and going to activities regularly. I can tell you that we have a lot of teachers that really care about our students, and they're to be commended for that. As far as how I help them do their job, I think the best way is to get out of their way, because I'm not an educator. What I depend on at the state level and what I do in multiple areas is tell people it's up to you as constituents to let me know what the things are that you need. What are the issues that will help you? I'm not a trained educator, so I need to hear from educators. And as your representative, I carry that message forward to best effectuate how that we're going to enact laws and what we're going to do to help benefit our communities. And that remains true with the profession of teaching.
This question will start with you, Kevin. Do you think Missouri campaign finance laws are transparent enough? Please explain.
Well, the short answer is no. We had some campaign finance laws that were overturned this past year. So the last election cycle, I was operating under different requirements than I am now. We had more disclosures and certain things going on, but really the biggest issue I see is the way committees transfer money around. It's not as transparent as it should be. There are things that are filtered to candidates and from organizations that affect the outcome of races, because quite frankly, I mean, money does make a difference on how you're able to buy your media and what it is you're able to do with those types of things. And so I think to the constituents out there, they really need to know where the money's coming from and where it's going to, and what the groups are that are contributing, and who is the force behind something. Because I've found being up there that there are certain groups promoting certain individuals that would never vote a certain way, but in the back rooms they'll kill someone.
Same question, Clayton. Do you think Missouri campaign finance laws are transparent enough? Please explain.
I would like to see them do away completely with donations going to candidates. And I think if a candidate was wanting to run for office, you ought to get out and meet the people and talk to people. And this idea of raising $10,000 to $50,000 to run for a public office is just a little bit ridiculous. And I think it ought to be scrapped and started all over again.
All right, we're going to stay on this subject for a moment. And this one goes to you, Clayton. So I'm going to ask you, if you've taken any campaign contributions from the Club for Growth, Children First, or Students First, the Jeb Bush Foundation PAC, Rex Sinkfield of St. Louis, and if so, which ones?
I have taken no money from anybody other than individual citizens that live in Christian County, with the exception of one person lives at Buffalo, Missouri. One person lives over by Rogersville. My brother sent me a check, and a friend of mine who is mayor in Springboro, Ohio, sent me a check. The rest of the money that I've raised came from right here in Christian County.
Thank you. Kevin, I'll read these off again. Have you taken campaign contributions from Club for Growth, Children First or Students First, the Jeb Bush Foundation PAC, Rex Singfield of St. Louis? If yes, which ones?
I have received contributions from Students First this cycle.
That's it? All right, thank you.
Kevin, do you think farmers will benefit from the governor's drought declaration?
I think they will to some degree. I mean, we've got farmers that are having such difficulty. I was talking to one of the representatives out of southeast Missouri just last night about things going on in his district. Of course, they've got more of a crop-driven agricultural system than we've got over here, where we focus a little more on beef production or pork production. But I think that it does provide some benefit to those that are really in need. Once again, anytime the government gets involved in something, I always question how they apply the money. Is it really being used for the best purpose out there? And is it always the government's role to come in and bail people out? But I do think that the assistance is needed in certain areas of the state, especially in these dire times.
Same question for you, Clayton.
I've got it, and I was talking to a farmer just this week, and he informed me that in order for him to get any money, because of the drought and everything else that's going on, it's going to have to be closer to January. He said, I need the money right now, not 6 months from now. I need the money right now.
All right, Clayton, actually, this is a question from the audience, and it was originally intended for Kevin, but I'm going to go ask it to both of you. And it has to do with homeschooling. And we're going to start with you, Clayton. Why is it fair for those who homeschool pay for public education in their tax dollars, when homeschool families are already spending their own tuition?
Well, I believe that anybody that lives in the county, or the town, or the school district where you are, should have to pay school tax. I don't have any children in school right now, but I did at one time. And these people that are homeschooling their kids, I understand. But the schools are public schools and are for the community. And if you live in the community, I think that you should pay the school tax.
Do you need the question repeated?
No, I think I've got it. Thank you.
Okay.
I believe that taxation for everybody across the board should be equal. Whenever people want to educate their children at home, I believe that that's a right that should be protected. And I do believe that there is an inequity for people with school-age children that don't use the school system, but yet pay for the books and supplies for the home system. So I think that there should be some accounting that comes back out. Now, I still think everybody should pay their taxes equally up front, but perhaps there should be some allocation. Now, it probably won't be the same per student that it would be if their children were in the public education system, but it should come back out since they're not putting that burden of their children or the increased load of their children in the school systems.
Another question in education, Kevin. Do you believe in tax dollars going to private schools, sometimes called vouchers or education tax credits? Why or why not?
Used to, I would have emphatically said yes. At the same time, then, I've always, since I've been in Jefferson City, said, well, I think vouchers are needed to help with the private school systems in these failing school districts, because we've got that dichotomy that exists between what's going on in the cities and what we have in our communities. I don't think vouchers would work here in our communities. We have good public schools. There's not that need. But at the same time, what we're seeing in the city now is we've had vouchers that have been put out to help fund kids that go into these private schools, but we're seeing that that system's not working either. We've got now failing private schools in these inner cities. So there's not an easy answer to this question, but there is a need for an alternative when there is a failing school